The little boy went first day of school. He got his crayons and he started to draw. He put colors all over the paper. Fall colors was what he saw. And the teacher said, "What you doing, young man?" "I'm painting flowers," he said.
Hey color theorists, and welcome to Walt Disney World's Port Orleans Resort. And looking around here, I noticed there's a lot of really intriguing colors. And the Walt Disney Imagineers spend a long time really considering color as part of the aesthetic and how to make things really pretty. So, what is it about color that's so important? Why do these things make us either think something's attractive or repulsive, beautiful or ugly? And what would happen if we took those colors, flipped them on their head, inverted them, and turned them into something else? So if you took a blue sky and made it orange, or you took this beautiful red water wheel back here and made it green, would it change your opinion of it? Interesting question. As artists, we have to ask that question about everything we do. What's so important about color? Why does it make such a gigantic impact on our art and on our viewer? So, in this lesson, we're going to be looking at colors, their importance, how to treat them, and what happens if we invert them and turn them into something totally different. Beautiful sunny day out here. And I really wanted to look at some of these colors that we're seeing, particularly in the translucence that we're looking at over here. What I want you to notice about this is that you look at something and you think, that's green. Is it really just green? Take a closer look. There's yellows, there's oranges, there's browns. There's of course green, but how many different levels of green do we have? There's moss green, there's grass green, there's all sorts of things. Now if that's green, what's that? Well, that's green too. But why is that green different? What other colors are in that green that make it that color green versus the one that we just saw? So here we go. We just looked at green, so let's look at red a little bit. This is a gorgeous red water wheel. But, once again, how many different reds are there? I'm looking at the red on the recording button in my little, just recorder on my iPhone here, and it's a totally different red than the red that's spinning around the water wheel. There's lots of orange and rust and all sorts of different colors. There's more yellow than there is red. And so, what do we do with that red? Is it really red? Or are there different versions of red? Now look at this stone that they've put up to hold up this massive water wheel that they've got running. Of course, it's a water wheel that doesn't really power anything, it's just aesthetic. But look at these stones. Look at how many colors are in those stones. And the designers here at Disney are very careful about what they do for color. The colors that are in those stones are reminiscent of a type of stone called a river stone. Even though those are field stones, they're really careful about making them look like river stones because this is, of course, Riverside. So let's take one more look. Since we've used such a red that's got lots of orange in it, look at the color of the building. It's blue. Complementary colors. Works really well together, and it's offset by a lighter blue with a nice mauve, which is basically a pastel red, and it's got some purple in it. Then we've got these beautiful earth tones in all the rocks, earth tones on all of the posts, etc. Right down to thinking about what color is the rope going to be on this particular thing. Then we've got, of course, the black. Harsh and giving us outlines. And why? Because that's the part that's emotion. That's the part that we really want to see. Alright, and last but not least, let's take a look at flowers and the plethora of colors that we see on these flowers. It's amazing the variations that are all over regular normal flora. And so when we're looking at these things, we see pastels, we've got all sorts of whites, of course, we've got pinks, we've got, well, pink is a pastel, I don't know why I said that. Okay, and then we've got purples, we've got blues, there's yellows, there's oranges. such a wide variety. And the fun part of this is, and this is where it comes to inverted, these colors are here in nature to either attract or warn different creatures about what you're looking at when it comes to floral life. Well, the fun part of that is that we as humans see these colors completely and totally differently than they're seen by the insects that need them to survive. They see the colors differently than we do. Oh, speaking of which, there's a honeybee going straight into that little white flower. But how does a honeybee see a flower? Well, let's find out.
What you doing, young man? Out painting flowers, he said. She said, it's not the time for art, young man. And anyway, flowers are green and red. There's a time for everything, young man. A way it should be done. You got to show concern for everyone else, for you're not the only one. And she said, flowers for red, young man. Green leaves for green. There's no need to see flowers any other way, the way they always have been seen. But the little boy said, there are so many colors in the rainbow, so many colors in the morning sun, so many colors in the flower, and I see everyone.